Hey Zeppelin, how are you? I'm looking to get out of the office in a little bit. What's on your mind? How can I help you today? It's the age-old question, big agency or small agency? It's kind of like the same question, big college or small college, right? And that's a really good question. And from my perspective, I've always been kind of like a smaller agency type of person. In the most part because I'm not a big fan of bureaucracy, and I'm a big fan of obeying the rules, but not so much bureaucracy. So you definitely got to obey the rules. I get that, but me personally, I would prefer someplace where you'd have a little bit more freedom in the ability to act with speed. I think being able to act with speed is really important. And not have to kind of sit around and wait for marketing approval for this or marketing approval for that, so that I think is a really important thing to consider. On the other hand, there is that balance where a smaller agency might not have the support that you're looking for, or might not be as polished that so it depends upon what type of image that you're looking to project, in what market you're looking to project, so what market you're looking to work in. So there's a lot of different things going on there, but I could definitely think of some market, let's just say Duxbury, for instance, where a small agency probably wouldn't work, in that particular, it's like a luxury market for almost the whole town. So it really depends where you're going to be. I don't want to pick on Duxbury or select Duxbury, but it really depends upon where you're going to be an agent. Where do you live? And where do you see these ads? They're looking for rental agents in Boston, right? And I would tend to agree with them. It is kind of difficult to be a rental agent in downtown Boston without living somewhere in the vicinity. Having said that, there are people who are just absolutely thoroughly committed to the hustle, that they'll do it because that's what they need to do to get out of wherever they happen to be. I did rentals in Boston part-time when I first started off, but I was on the road. I had a job that was on the road, so I didn't live nearby. I actually lived in Plymouth, but I was on the road constantly during the day, so it wasn't that big of a deal. So I was already in the vicinity, so to speak. You're in Springfield. Am I saying that it's impossible? No. Would it be incredibly difficult? Yes, it would be. What about Northampton? They have a pretty viable rental market up there, all throughout the valley. So, what about that? At my agency, I hire agents from across the state, except for Berkshire County. But most of what we do here is like virtual, so it's either support by phone or by all of our training is on YouTube and that type of thing. But in the end, you've got to ask yourself, and this call is not about joining my agency. I mean, you can if you want, but it's really about what's working for you or what will work for you. And I think that you have to start to think yourself, where are my leads? And I think that's the number one question any new agent's got to ask, is not so much the agency, because the agencies, have good points and bad points. But in the end, it's going to be you that determine whether you're going to be successful or not your broker or whatever broker you end up going to pick. It's not them, it's you. So you have a couple of friends and family who want to buy properties in Springfield, and you're not from Springfield. You just moved there. Okay, from somewhere in Connecticut. And I think when you talk about you have this other job that you have, in order to be successful in real estate, I think you're going to have to set an expectation for yourself that you're probably not going to make any money anytime soon. And any money that you make is going to be complete gravy. So I think one of the key ways to be successful is to not really even have to make any money doing this to begin with. And that the money you make is, if you make any, is like, pennies from heaven. And if you make that, turn it, pour it back into the business, basically, is what my opinion, my idea is. So the longer hang time that you have before you start to get nervous that this isn't working, the more successful it is going to be for you. So the less you have to make, the more patience you'll have with it, and that is the big key. Well, what's your daily like? Do you have your time to yourself? Are you constantly doing bookkeeping, or how's that work? You have time to yourself, okay. So this is what I would look at. I think that there are plenty of people that trying to get into the multifamily business in every city, and there are people also looking for agents that are knowledgeable. And the one thing I find about the Western Mass market as a whole, Springfield, the whole valley, is that they are much more amenable to doing business with somebody without a big brand name. So here in Eastern Massachusetts, so I'm in downtown Boston at the moment, here in Eastern Massachusetts, it's dominated by big brand names, you know what they are. Western Massachusetts is kind of like it's like the Wild West. There's not nearly as many big name brands out there. So going with the big office, I don't think really has a huge benefit there. People don't necessarily get leads from their office. No, not at all. Leads come from you. That's why brokers hire agents, is because you deliver the lead. That's why, if the commission's $10,000, you get the vast majority of it because you created the lead. This is not a order taking business. This is a generate the business. And that's where the value is added. When you generate the business, you make the bigger buck. If this was an order-taking business, then I would pay my agents 20% and I'd keep 80%. But it's not. It's a generated the lead business, so I keep 20% and they keep 80%. I would say that spending money on Zillow right now would probably be the worst thing that you could do. I'd rather you spend any money. I'd rather you spend if you're going to do business in the Springfield market, is somehow marketing to people who are investing in property. That's going to be a little bit difficult to do. So you might think about Facebook ads or something like that. But the way I kind of grown my landlord base, so I have a number of landlords, not a huge number, but a number of landlords that I've maintained over time, and they produce me repetitive business because they always have apartments to rent. I think there's plenty of landlords out there who'd be interested in switching from one agent to another if they found that agent had their head in the game. And I think what I'm trying to say about the Western market is that I think that's wide open for people out there. If you can prove through your acts that you're have your head in the game in terms of multifamily. So what's on the market, what do they sell for, what is the right price, those types of things. So if you're going to do multifamilies or that type of thing, then you might want to think about like creating content that backs up your credibility. Because what you just said was really important to me, is that you checked out my Facebook or my something like that. You probably did that to go find out whether I was legit, right? And here's the lesson for you. That's what you got to go do. Because if you give somebody your business card and say, hey, call me, I can help you buy a multifamily, they're not going to call. The first thing that they do is not going to call you. They're going to Google you, just like you Googled me. And that's what we call social proof. They're going to Google you, and they're going to find out whether you even register for the concept of multifamily in Springfield. And so let's just think about an idea. Here's a marketing idea. And we haven't talked about your Facebook profile or your Twitter or Instagram or anything like that. But how about we create one piece of content a week? Just one. And it's about the Springfield multifamily market. That's all it's about. So say you have 3 or 4 people that want to buy single family homes from you. They might be like, she's brand new, and what does she know, and maybe, and so in order to cement their confidence in you, why don't you start to do this report like once a week? That's it. Keep in mind that you're not looking for 10 million viewers. You're looking for like the quality 2 viewers. And also, you can take that, whether it's a blog post or an audio recording or a video, you can take that and dice it up into little pieces and then sprinkle it across your week over social media. So you have a 10-minute video that no one's going to watch, but who cares, because you diced it up into small little pieces. It's actually, I'm going to admit something to you, it's actually what I'm doing with this exact same phone call. Not your voice, my voice. So this is very meta right now, but actually, but I'm going to record my end of the conversation, not you, and it's going to become a video. And what is that going to help me do? When in 3 months from now, when someone wants to take real estate school or join my agency or something like that, they're going to have the same questions you have. That's what you should do. In a different way. You know, obviously you want to cement your legitimacy selling multifamilies in the general Springfield area. Then if you create a report once a week for the next 50 weeks on Springfield multifamilies, who's going to be the expert? You are. It's not going to make you're not going to be a super success, but I mean, it's going to be the start. Right. And what if your business card said, your name, and then it said author of Springfield and then you got like a domain that was like springfieldmultifamilyreport.com or something like that. And you be a media company. I mean, if you're not thinking that you're a media company first, then you're not thinking about 2018 or 2019 for that matter. Those are all lead opportunities. You already have the bookkeeping. You already have the bookkeeping piece, and that's a revenue opportunity. So the people that are looking to manage a property, they're also looking to sell property, and they're also looking to buy property. And here's the other thing too: they also know other people who are looking to do the same thing. So, they have their friend Charlie. Hey, Charlie has 3 rental properties too. Maybe you could help him out. Can you give me a call? He's always asking for somebody. And all of a sudden, right? Are you just going to collect the rent and repair the toilet when it leaks or that type of stuff? That doesn't require a license. The rule is real simple. When you act for another for a fee in the acquiring of interest in real estate. So if you want to help your friend this weekend find a house and you just go out and drive around just for kicks, that's legal. But as soon as your friend pays you, that's illegal. I mean, if your friend said, hey, you want to go up to, Hadley and look at some houses with me this weekend? I'll buy you lunch. That's fine. But as soon as they pay you, then that's a no-no. You mean for property management? How much? What's the going rate? Is that what your question is? I have no idea. Property management is one of the very few things that I don't do. I do not collect rent. That's just not my thing. So I don't know. What I do know, going back to, is that like when you said Zillow earlier, Zillow is basically a bunch of people raising their hands, pick me, with no real reason why they should be picked. What we're talking about is creating content which helps people, and that attracts over a long term a much more loyal following, and is also cumulative everywhere, and it builds upon itself. Where at Zillow or any of these other, whether you buy a billboard or whatever, you always have to be raising your hand, pick me. And when you said pick me yesterday, it doesn't matter, that doesn't make you louder today. we're doing something longer term, like the Springfield multimedia report, multi-family report, or whatever you want to call it. That is cumulative. That builds upon itself. That builds brand. And having the patience to build that, I think, is the key to being successful. And I would leverage this bookkeeping thing. This bookkeeping thing could be a big leverage piece, because I bet you there's plenty of landlords out there. There's probably dozens of landlords out there who find the bookkeeping and the rent and how to create a security deposit account and all that other stuff infuriating. You might even start to think that getting landlord clients might be easier by offering them bookkeeping services, and then you offer the real estate services, and then they find out, oh, you also do real estate? Oh, put them together. Now you're talking. Solve problems. Just don't raise your hand. Think about it. What if you own 22 apartments? Imagine the bookkeeping pain in the butt that's got to be. It won't, but now you're talking like a synergy here, right? So, off to the races. Make it happen. My pleasure. We'll see you in class. You got it. You too. Bye-bye. Wow, that was awesome.